Hello everyone and welcome to my YouTube channel Travel with Candy. If you haven't done so already, please click the link below and subscribe. I'm coming to you guys with some really good content. I have 2 more trips booked for this remainder of the year and you don't want to miss out on my tips, my tricks, and everything in between, baby. So this video is going to be all about my solo trip to Aruba. My first international solo trip I've ever taken. And no, I was not scared. I went full-fledged, ready to go, ready to experience. So my intro is going to be short because I'm a big YouTube watcher like you guys. And I don't like to hear so much talking. I like to see content, and things of that nature. So I'm going to jump right into it. Before I give you guys the content, there is some important information that you need to know when traveling to Aruba during the COVID-19 pandemic. So I want to tell you guys a little bit about the procedures that you have to go through in order to get into Aruba. So yes, you do have to take a PCR test 3 days within your travel time to Aruba. It must be negative, of course. Even if you're vaccinated, you are still liable to have this test taken. The catch is, in Aruba, you also have to purchase $15 travel health insurance. You cannot upload the PCR test and not pay for the insurance, and you can't pay for the insurance and not have the PCR test. It's literally one full swing to get the ED card, which is what they call it, to have entrance into Aruba. When you do get to Aruba, there are 3 checkpoints, I believe. When you first get off the plane, there's a checkpoint at the top stairs where they check your ED card. Then you walk through, there's another checkpoint. They do the same thing. And then at the very end, when you're about to go outside to either get your car or your taxi, there's one last checkpoint. So they do not play in Aruba. You have to have this stuff done and ready to go. For example, I know some people struggle with, well, what is a 72-hour window? Well, I left on the 4th and I got my test on the 1st. But because my flight was 6 a.m., I was able to get a morning test on the 1st. So it was literally all about the time you leave and the days. So with that being said, that is all you need to get into Aruba. If you were solo traveling like me, I would suggest that you do not rent a car. It's really not worth it, especially if all of your activities is within the area, which later on in the video, I will get into how you pick these activities and how you make the best of your trip when you're by yourself and you want to do everything in the world like me. Okay, so coming back from Aruba, you also do need a negative PCR or antigen test to get into the US within the 3 days of your return. That's pretty easy because most of the time, the hotel or the resort that you're staying at offer these tests for a fairly cheap price and at the actual location, which I was able to get at the Renaissance Hotel and Casino where I stayed. So that was no hassle at all. It's very cheap, and usually internationally they come back fairly quickly. Mine came back within 24 hours. I took it 8 o'clock a.m. and I got it 8 o'clock a.m. the next morning. So that was definitely stress-free for me, and I was super happy with that experience of the trip. So I'm ready to get into this content. I want you guys to enjoy. Leave your comments, your questions below. I'm able to answer them all. It's some really great content, really great photos for you guys. And hopefully this helps someone who is either traveling solo or traveling with your significant other, and you're just worried about how to plan, how to have a great time in Aruba during the pandemic. Here you go. Enjoy, guys. right here, I was just soaking in the view, and then I went inside and I found out that it was open bar on a sunset cruise. So I told the guy to whip me up something fruity while we waited for the sun to set. And he whipped me up this drink that almost put me out, guys. That little trick right there. I was like, woo, you about to get me started. And this was a beautiful view when the sun was just about setting. And when the sun set, that's when the groove started. And the sunset cruise turned into a whole party, y'all. A whole party. So after the sunset cruise, guys, I went back to the resort, drank me a bottle of water, took me a nice shower, changed clothes, and hit the streets to the strip to go to South Beach, Aruba, where I met up with this beautiful lady named Erica that I met earlier at the Flamingo Island. She was celebrating her birthday, and I said, hey, why not go support? We both were out there solo, just living our best lives. This really does gives me Miami vibes. If you guys see, so many of the bars and the nightlife here is amazing. Hookah, great drinks, and great music. Everybody vibed. And this is Erica, this sweet girl that we still connected after the trip. So I'm so happy I met her. Solo travelers? Woo! Group travelers?
Aruba. Are you guys ready?
Yes.
Yes, Aruba!
Arriba!
Aruba!
Aruba!
Can I get a whoop whoop?
Okay, y'all. So let's get into this tour and this bumpy hell of a ride. If you guys decide to do the ABC tour, just know you have to hold on at all times because it is a safari tour. But as you can see along the way, we saw some beautiful donkeys, we saw some beautiful goats, we saw some beautiful lava rocks, live lava rocks. And I had the amazing opportunity to get a fish pedicure and go to the natural pool, which I look great. I gotta make it to the top. I gotta make it to the top. I call myself a champ. I had to take this photo. I was halfway to the top and I wasn't out of breath yet. I opted not to get all the way in the natural pool. This was the Aruba Riba. This was the famous drink in Aruba that I drank like 3 times. And what we see now is the natural bridge. It was so blue and so beautiful. I couldn't stop looking at it. Then we also visited the Indian caves, which was a little freaky. And Baby Beach. Baby Beach, the water was so blue. You can snorkel here. They have good eats. Coming up next is the barbecue chicken at Big Mama Grill. So after eating some delicious barbecue chicken, that night I went to the Flying Fishbone. I wanted to experience this eating in the ocean. Literally, the only thing that divides you is rocks. And the entrance was just a beautiful, different vibe for me. And I was all ready for it. So, guys, you just saw Sea Trek. It was the best experience of the trip. And now you see me doing salsa lessons. The good thing about going solo, you can do whatever the hell you want. Oh my God. Let's get into the banana boat ride. Yes, that's me in the front, holding on for dear life. And the guy operating the boat did not care at all. Guys, disclaimer, do not sit in the front of the banana boat. It is slippery, and if you don't have good balance or grip like me, you will be a victim like I was. That was hilarious. After the banana boat ride, I was completely done with Deep Palm Island. I drank all I can drink, I eat all I can eat, and I went around my resort to look at the local shops and the view and the colorful buildings. And there's so many local shops in the area where you can buy souvenirs, you can buy clothes, just support the local community. It was a really nice view. I took a really long walk all the way down. This was a beautiful, beautiful mask art that is not painted, but is colorful. And they're very expensive in here, but it was very beautiful to look at. And after that, I was able to walk all the way down to the Aruba sign. Okay, I'm back. I hope you guys enjoyed my content. So let me get right into it. It takes time to plan itineraries for your trip. It is not easy. It does take time, dedication. You have to like to do it. And I say you have to like to do it because you're going to hear a lot of opinions about places that you want to visit. And then you're going to call these places and they may be booked, and you have to have backup places, and you have to switch things around last minute because something canceled. It is COVID, so a lot of things were changing when I was planning the Aruba trip. For example, the curfew was changing. At first it was 11 o'clock, then it was 9 o'clock. But by the time I touched down, it was 12 o'clock. which I was happy about, 12 a.m. to be exact. So I was able to switch some things up last minute in regards to the nightlife in Aruba. But I will say the nightlife really gives me Miami vibes because everything is just right there. And everybody's outside enjoying themselves, smoking hookah, listening to music. But you cannot dance due to the pandemic, but you're still able to have a great time. So most of my activities that I completed, I paid for before touching down in Aruba. This is extremely crucial for people who are traveling and want to be budget efficient. Always pay for your activities before you travel because you don't know how much food, taxis, and other necessities that you need may cost you on the trip. And if you're traveling solo, it's just best to get it out of the way. You do not want to be caught up in the bind. Now, I had more than enough on my trip, but I ended up spending only $300 for 4 full days that I was there. That included food and taxi. Why? Because my $100 activities was already paid for before I touched down in Aruba. First, the Sunset Cruise. I picked the Sunset Cruise because, for one, I've never been on one, and for two, they picked you up. Always look for activities where they are willing to pick you up from your resort. It is the best thing ever. You don't have to worry about parking. You don't have to worry about getting lost. And they are very courteous, kind, and sweet, and you would get to where you need to go and you would get back hassle-free. All of my activities, I got picked up and I got dropped off, and that was another reason why I didn't need a car. Sunset Cruise was only 10-minute drive from my resort. Every activity I picked, the first thing I did was see how far it was from the resort. That determined whether or not I was going to do the activity, whether or not I was going to eat at this particular place, whether or not I was going to go see this particular place, because at the end of the day, I am by myself and I wanted to make sure I was also being safe. But if you're staying at Renaissance Hotel and Casino, you're literally at one of the best resorts in Aruba. Everything is really surrounded around that area. It's literally a 10-minute drive to the high rises where all the bars and the clubs and all the other casinos and things are. There's a movie theater across the street. The Dutch Pancake House is across the street, which is the best breakfast spot in Aruba. The private island with the flamingos, you have the complimentary, of the complimentary stay, you're able to go to the private island as many times as you want with the iguanas and the flamingos if you're staying on the island. That was very beautiful. I'm sure you guys saw that. Now, the Sunset Cruise was extremely fun, as you guys saw. That was only $69, and that's with tax and transportation. Also, the ABC tours. That is a 9-hour tour, and I know a lot of people aren't really big on tours, but I'm telling you, that's a trick. You need to take the trick and the tip and do a tour. It doesn't even feel like you're on it for 9 hours. We went to 12 different dope locations, and it was literally the best experience of my life. That in total with transportation was $130, and that also included a drink and a meal. Not a lunchbox, a meal. Barbecue chicken rice, a meal. So that was always great. That was one of the best experiences I had. I also booked Deep Palm Island, which was also $109 to get inside of the island. It's an all-inclusive island on Aruba. Open bar. You do not pay for your drinks. Once you pay that $109, you get into Deep Palm Island. Drinks and food are unlimited. I mean liquor. Liquor is unlimited. So those drinkers out there, you're gonna love that place. I did have to pay extra for the sea trek. That was an extra activity that was not included in the all-inclusive price for Deep Palm Island, but it was definitely a go. As you guys saw, I had an amazing time with that, and that was only $50. So those activities pretty much took up all my day, but I was able to relax in the beautiful clear water. You can literally see your feet. It was just amazing. It was just an amazing experience in Aruba. The only place that it was a little far from my resort was Flying Fish Bone. It was a total of 29 minutes from my resort, but the taxi was only $33 there and coming back. Mind you, all of my other taxis that I took to the strip where all of the clubs and bars was only $13 one way, $13 coming back. So imagine how much money I did save instead of spending $200, $300 on a car when I didn't even need that. So that's definitely good. The taxis in Aruba are very, very cheap. So always know, when you're planning your trips, always have the location set first. Once the location is set, everything else will fall into place. I hope you guys enjoyed this vlog to Aruba. Please hit the subscribe button below because there will be more content, more dope places that I will visit this year alone. And I want you guys to be the first to get in on it, know the tips and tricks, and know the things that I did to have the best time of my life. And I hope that you guys have the best times of your lives. Peace out for now, y'all. Bye.